Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan confirmed not living together anymore, fans devastated as fairytale home breaks apart. It was a quiet Monday morning when the news hit the entertainment world like a lightning bolt across a cloudless sky. Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, the beloved duo who had captivated millions with their love story and recently adopted 4-year-old daughter, have officially confirmed they are no longer living together. The silence that followed the announcement was heavier than thunder. No one saw it coming, and those who suspected a crack beneath the glossy perfection never expected the walls to fall so hard and so fast. Their fans, already emotionally invested from the start of their journey, from that emotional bicycle stroll incident where Yibo held Xiao Zhan protectively, to the day they proudly introduced their daughter to the world, were shaken beyond words. The perfect home they had built, the warmth, the laughter, the long walks in the park with their child, it has all come to a heartbreaking pause. According to sources close to the pair, the decision was mutual. But make no mistake, the decision did not come without tears and late-night arguments muffled behind closed doors. A house that once held the joy of lullabies and late-night cuddles was now filled with an emptiness that echoed louder than words. The tension reportedly began weeks ago after the accident scare that left both men shaken. They had been riding bicycles on a quiet morning, trying to get away from the city lights and just be themselves. But when Xiao Zhan lost balance and fell, everything changed. Though there was no serious injury, something else broke that day, their emotional rhythm. Yibo blamed himself harshly. Xiao Zhan withdrew emotionally. And even though they tried to patch things up for the sake of their daughter, the cracks only deepened. One fan said they had recently noticed that Xiao Zhan was no longer showing up in the couple's usual park where they often took evening strolls with their daughter. At first I thought it was work, she said, but then even on his days off, he was nowhere near that place. Something was wrong. Another turning point reportedly happened during a close friend's birthday party. A source who was present at the gathering told us, Yibo was there with their daughter. Xiao Zhan came much later, and they barely spoke. It was awkward. You could feel it in the air. They were two souls in the same room but galaxies apart. Still, no one expected they would choose to live apart. The home they shared in the quiet countryside just outside Beijing had become iconic among fans. It was a house filled with creativity and love. Paintings by their daughter lined the walls. Xiao Zhan's poetry books were stacked beside Yibo's collection of motorbike manuals. That house was more than a building, it was their story written in laughter and tears. But now, according to those closest to them, Yibo has moved out into a smaller apartment in the city while Xiao Zhan remains in the house with their daughter. It is said that he wanted the child to remain in a familiar environment while they figured out how to co-parent peacefully. A friend close to the couple revealed, Yibo did not want this. He fought hard to keep the home intact. He tried therapy sessions, scheduled more family outings, even stopped working for a few weeks just to be present. But Xiao Zhan had reached a point where he needed to breathe. He needed clarity. They both agreed space was the only thing left to try. Despite the distance, insiders confirm that they are still in each other's lives, especially for their daughter's sake. Yibo visits often, and whenever he comes by, the little girl runs into his arms like it is the only place she feels safe. There are moments when they laugh again, moments that look like old times, but the air still holds tension. The home is now a shared territory not of lovers but of devoted parents. Their daughter's kindergarten teacher recently shared a story that melted the hearts of those still rooting for a miracle. She drew a picture in class, the teacher said, of a house with 2 fathers and a smiling son above. She said, "My daddies are not living in the same house anymore, but they still love me very much." That single statement broke hearts around the world. Social media exploded with reactions. Fans created montages of their best moments together, cooking meals in matching aprons, singing lullabies on live streams, dancing in the kitchen late at night. The videos are now bittersweet tributes to a love that seemed too pure to ever crack. But fans are not the only ones broken. The entertainment industry itself is stunned. For months, producers and directors had been eyeing the couple for a joint family-centered show. Brands were queuing to have them as ambassadors. Now, contracts are being re-evaluated. Publicists are scrambling to realign narratives. And what about the fans who always believed in a happy ending? One devoted supporter wrote, I do not care if they live together or not. What matters is that they are still in each other's lives. What matters is that their daughter feels loved. But I truly hope this is not the end. Neither Yibo nor Xiao Zhan has officially commented beyond the brief statement their teams released. It simply said, "We are navigating this chapter of our lives with respect and love. We remain committed to our family and thank you for your continued support." But behind those carefully crafted words lies a story that continues to unfold. A source close to them hinted that this may not be permanent. They are giving each other space, she said, but they are still emotionally connected. They are not shutting the door completely. There is still love. So much love. Could this separation be just a pause in their story rather than the final chapter? Only time will tell. But for now, the fairy tale that once felt untouchable has taken a painful turn. The house that once rang with laughter is now quiet. The park bench where they once sat hand in hand is now empty. The crib that held their daughter now stands beside only one bed. The world waits with bated breath, hoping that two hearts still beating in sync will one day find their rhythm again. And in the meantime, under the same sky, Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan continue living apart, but not apart in heart. Wang Yibo, spotted outside Xiao Zhan's house at midnight, is a secret reunion underway. Just when fans had begun to accept the heartbreaking truth that Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan were no longer living together, a midnight sighting has set the internet ablaze with new hope. In a twist that no one saw coming, Wang Yibo was reportedly spotted outside Xiao Zhan's home just after midnight, pacing nervously with what appeared to be a stuffed bunny in one hand and a brown envelope in the other. Yes, you heard that right. The very same house he once called home. The same porch where he used to sit with Xiao Zhan sipping tea while their daughter giggled in the background. And now he was back, standing alone in the dark like a man at the edge of a decision that could change everything. A neighbor who recognized him immediately said, "At first, I thought I was dreaming. It was so late." He looked unsure, like he wanted to knock but was scared. He walked back and forth for almost 15 minutes. Then he sat on the steps, like he was waiting. The news traveled faster than wildfire. Before dawn, the phrase "Yibo at Xiao Zhan's house" was trending #1 worldwide. Millions of fans, still hurting from the news of their separation, were suddenly glued to their phones, asking the same question: did he go back for good? And that is not all. Someone reportedly saw Xiao Zhan open the door around 1 a.m. He stood there for a moment, frozen, then stepped outside and sat beside Yibo. They didn't say much at first, just sat together in silence under the cold night sky. The image alone is enough to make hearts ache and hope rise all at once. What happened during those silent minutes? According to another source, who claims to have spoken with one of the house staff, the two men eventually embraced. Not a dramatic movie-type hug, but the kind of embrace that comes from years of shared pain, love, and unsaid words. Yibo handed him the envelope and the bunny, the same bunny their daughter once lost at a theme park and cried about for days. Xiao Zhan was seen holding it tightly as they walked back inside together. Nothing official has been said. Not a word from their teams. But fans already believe something significant is happening behind the scenes. Could this be the first sign of a reunion? Back at the kindergarten, their daughter reportedly came in smiling the next morning. One teacher shared, she kept humming a song Yibo used to sing to her. She was happier, calmer, almost like something good happened at home. Social media is overflowing with speculation. Some believe Yibo came just to check on their daughter. Others are convinced this was a heartfelt moment of reconciliation. Fan pages are already exploding with theories and piecing together subtle clues. Xiao Zhan's recent poetry post about second chances, Yibo's quiet absence from the city for the last few days, the sudden cancellation of both their upcoming events. Coincidence? Or calculated time for reflection? A very close source has now come forward with a game-changing piece of information: Yibo never gave up. Even after moving out, he stayed nearby. He never changed his number. Never took his toothbrush from the old house. And now, it seems, he might just be finding his way back. But what does Xiao Zhan want? That part remains a mystery. He has always been the more private one, the protector of silence. But those who know him say he has been writing more, smiling more recently. And last week, he posted a photo on his private story, a cup of tea on a familiar windowsill, 2 mugs side by side. No caption. Just a heart emoji. That was before Yibo's visit. Could this be their way of speaking without words? Could the house that once echoed with heartbreak now be holding whispers of healing? Fans are watching. The world is watching. And deep down, everyone is hoping that this midnight meeting under the stars is not just a memory in the making, but the beginning of a new chapter. One thing is certain. Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan's story is far from over. In fact, it might just be starting again.